Hey folks, this is Mark with OrientWatchUSA.com, and I got here 3 examples of diver watches that we offer at OrientWatchUSA.com. And Orient is they're very well known for this this model right here, which the fans have called the Mako. And the Mako is a 200-meter diver. I'm going to go through all the little characteristics that what makes it a diver, but you'll see certain elements of these watches are similar. You'll see that they all have a bezel, which has a time, which shows you elapsed time when you're underneath the water. I don't know if you can see from the front, but they have very thick cases. They have extra thick crystals in comparison to other watches of the same depth rating and whatnot. Some of them have power reserve indicators, as you see the one over here. That isn't exactly a diver feature, but it's also included in this one. Listen, let me go ahead and explain to you. Let me use the watch on my wrist. It's probably going to be a little easier to explain from it, but there's a few characteristics. Let me go ahead and push these watches back so that I can put my watch in the front over here. Let me start with the bezel. It's something that you can measure how much time has been elapsed underwater, and so typically most bezels are unidirectional, which means they only rotate in one direction, right? So let me get back to 60 right there. And what that does, say for example, I go down at 14. I'm going to set that at 14, so I know that I know as the minute hands go down how much time I've spent underneath the water. Another thing that you may have noticed on some of these models is that most of the indexes as well as the hands are luminous. Okay, it's an important part of a diver's watch. I don't think the second hand is all that important, but I definitely think the minute hands and the hour hands are very important. The ISO standard says that it must require, it needs a second hand that's luminous. This watch over here may not have it, but you'll notice that the Orient Star Dive over here, as well as the Mako XL over here, all have luminous second hands. Let me go ahead and take it off. You'll notice that many of the metal bands that come along with the diver watches have a safety. Now these sort of features where it's, how do you say, overbuilt and whatnot, those are all characteristics of a diver's watch. Alright? So what I mean by overbuilt, every element about the case and whatnot has to take into the fact that it's going to be underwater. So even the crown should be all screwed down, which means that you have to unscrew it for you to use the crown, okay? And then once you're done, you have to press it in and re-screw it back in. All these things have to be part of the design just so that you can ensure that water doesn't get in. Now this is a push button, but this is also a screwed down push button. Take a look at the date. It goes with Spanish and English, so once you're done with it, you gotta screw it right back in. Most of the divers watches that we have are 200 to 300 meters. We've included a couple 100 meters because they fit the characteristic and fit the look of a diver's watch, but they only go down to 100 meters. So, well, technically they're not diver watches, but at the same time, they have a lot of diver look that many people are looking for. Okay, so just so you know, the diver watches started in 1932, and so it's been around for quite a long time, and it's been one of the most popular watches that the Americans like. Most of the Americans like. The only thing that I have to finish off on is there's 2 things actually. It's the legibility of the dial. One thing that's really important about diver's watch is that it has to be very easily read. I think it's something that many of the collectors will agree with me on, but for many amateurs who are just getting into this thing, into the watch industry, it's just that diver watches are supposed to be very legible. And so that's why all the hands that they use over here are very thick and luminous, because it's very dark down there in the water. So all these things have to be considered. Okay, and sometimes these watches come with a helium escape valve. We have a saturation diver, 300 meter diver that requires no such helium escape valve because it was just simply overbuilt. Okay? Alright. folks, I hope this helps you with your first look at diver watches. This is Mark with OrientWatchUSA.com, and I hope that your understanding of diver watches